All right, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. The last day of the first quarter in 2025. And I hope you're still going to thrive in 2025. Today, we are very fortunate to have a woman who is currently in the positive energy vortex of the universe, but also sells in Nevada, Las Vegas, Michele Kubiak. Michele, welcome to the show. If you haven't hit star 6 yet, just hit star 6 on your phone, and then we'll be able to hear you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Rick.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Just so on our coaching calls, when she answers the phone, she usually goes, "Good morning, Vietnam," like the movie, and I usually go, "Good morning, Michele Kubiak, yak." So anyway, tell them a little about yourself and what you're currently doing, please.
I've been a realtor since 2001. I started out when Brookshire was Prudential in 2001, and in 2015 I left for a couple of years to somewhere else and ended up back where I'm supposed to be. I am currently licensed in Arizona and Nevada. I have a team in Nevada that really is killing it up there. And
That's great.
Loving it.
And then you're doing all the wonderful stuff. Matter of fact, speaking of killing it, you guys were the number 27 team in the company last year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. That was a bunch of collective efforts, not just my production. It was other people's as well, you know?
And that's the thing. So you're like, this is the great thing about, this is one of those great things I'm looking forward to on today's call is you're running a team because you've been in the business forever. You know, we met, 12 years ago on Pebble. Remember that?
Yeah.
When you took my success series. Right. But now you've grown into running this big team and you've done it before too. And, so you got a team going on and then you've decided to start another, as an individual agent in Sedona at the same time. And you're doing the things that newer agents should be doing, except with your experience and so forth. So tell me a little about that process as you get it up and running there.
So I got my license in Arizona in October. October 11th, it was active. I started really working around October 20th. And you know what? When I came to the market, I knew to get a title rep so that I had built my team up. So I went to a local title company in Sedona, met an escrow officer and a marketing rep, and I just told them I'm going to start doing a bunch of open houses. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, open houses don't really work here." And I'm the type where people tell me something doesn't work, I'm going to do it anyways and see what happens, right? So I do pretty consistently 4 open houses a week, even though they said they didn't work, because I figure I got to work from somewhere. If I'm going to work from the office, why not work from an open house where I can double my chances? And I've done a lot of direct mail since I've been down here. I have connected with neighbors. There's a local farmers market that's about to open up here next month where they were the first people we actually met when we moved to Arizona. And so she says, "When we open back up, give me a stack of your cards. I'm going to promote you because we don't know a realtor." So I have that as well, just by going to buy healthy vegetables and connecting with people, so I'm doing all of the things. And my team and I have been doing a contest in March of doing a video every day. So our April contest that I'm doing, because like you've taught me, Rick, is I have to lead by example. And so if I'm doing work in Arizona and they're doing the same thing in Nevada, which is helping grow their business. So our contest that starts tomorrow is knocking 100 doors per week. So I start that, and that's what I committed to you in our coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome. Remember so you got on a little early this morning, and you were listening to my group of 4 calls, and one of the gentlemen, he knocked 1,600 doors in February. Omar, he's out of the Anaheim Hills office in California. He
awesome.
He knocked 1,600 in February and 2,500, and 30% of the doors opened. In other words, so he had 1,400 and something, whatever it was. I could pull his numbers up again. But and then he had in March it was 31%. So, I tell people when you go door knocking, you knock on 10 doors, you're going to talk to 3 or 4 people every time you knock on 10, right? Door knocking is what you're doing in Arizona, okay, and Nevada, obviously, but door knocking for an open house, showing up, doing the proactive part, doing the videos, it just creates a tremendous amount of momentum. And now, I told Patrick, that's the manager in Sedona. I told him, I said, it's like the Tasmanian devil just moved into your office, and he thought I was joking at first, but I think he really knows now that you came in, you got all about it right away, and what have you taken there? 3, 4 listings, and
I have 4 listings in a 5-month period of just moving, just coming to a new market, and I have 2 buyers. I'm hopefully going to write an offer today for the properties that I showed yesterday. So I'm just out there doing it, trusting the process, and I still work in Nevada as well and go back and forth, and so
that's great. Yeah,
yeah.
I see
and
Renee's.
It's not that hard because it's only 4 hours. I go there.
Right.
I go back and forth.
Right. Yeah, and you can do what you can listen to pretty much 2/3 of an audio book in the drive.
Yeah, definitely. My car is my classroom because when I do have to make that 4-hour drive, I listen to books or podcasts or Joel Osteen.
Right. I love it. Good stuff. Yeah, the key is to, and you said the key words there, so I want you to explain to them what that means too. You said trust the process. Now, some days that can be tough, and I talk about that a lot, as you know, trust the process. Tell them exactly what that means to you.
That, for me, what trust the process means is that as long as I'm doing the income producing activities and out there doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's eventually going to come. I don't expect instant. Sometimes instant happens, in one of my first open houses, I got my first listing, so and just now, like I was giving it 6 months. I didn't even expect to have the business that I have already. So just knowing from being an experienced agent what it takes to try to get business is all I've been doing. And I'm like, okay, it's going to come eventually. I gave myself 6 months and I beat that 6 months. So, and just doing what the next best thing and what's right in front of me. And if I'm doing what's right in front of me and being intentional about it and setting goals and being coached, and I could go on and on about trusting that process and being coachable and teachable and listening to what is so different in one market versus the market that I'm used to.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very different too. And obviously, like you said, doing some of the activities that you're doing, it's not like everybody up there is doing what you're doing. So that's what that activity, trusting the process, like you said, income producing activities, putting your head down, getting it done, trusting it, because the universe is always watching. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, whatever you're content
Mhm.
calling it. But there's always, it's like you're putting money in the bank. If you're doing the right things, you're gonna cash in on it as long as you keep going. That's the key, right?
Right. Yeah. And I used to tell when I had my first team back in '04, I used to tell them, and they're like, "Oh, I never get anything from doing door hangers," and I don't think we had learned door knocking yet in 2004 that I know of. So we just did door hangers, and I'm like, you know what? Every time I go out and do door hangers, I get a call from a client that's like, "Hey, can I see this house?" Or I decided I do want to get my house on the market, and I'm still doing door hangers at that moment. And it's like you said, it's the universe, God, whatever you believe in, sees that you're putting in the work, and it might not come from those door hangers, but you're ensuring that you are going to get a deal if you're treating your business like a business, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I call it prospecting karma. It just seems
Yeah.
to absolutely work as long as you're doing it. And that was I could give you examples in my career, people I've coached. It's just that you got to trust the process, walk through the door, keep it going, be consistent. All right. So let's go to my favorite question, which is, all right. So knowing what you know now, okay, what would be the top 3 things you would tell them to focus on to be successful in this business?
Well, we already kind of covered that, is trust the process, ask for help, and really just treat your business like a business. And I always like to say, if you would put in 8 hours working at Starbucks on an hourly job, make sure you're applying that in your real estate business, and don't take advantage of how people say, "Oh, you work for yourself, so you have time." No, that would be my top 3.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it's so true too. It's if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing every day, it's all going to come together. You got to treat it like a business. All right. So, and what does that mean? Tell us exactly what that means to you. How would you describe treating it like a business?
Treating it like going in either to the office or getting to work at a certain time. Like if you were going to punch a clock for somebody else, punch the clock for yourself, and be on when you say you're going to work, and do it, and don't get discouraged in the process, because there's days where I'm like, "I'm so sick of doing this."
Yeah, absolutely. No, I remember that. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So you know what I was just thinking when you were talking, since, you've been running a successful team, and that's a different process, but I think give them an idea. So you've taken 4 listings in 5 months there. Break down how you got maybe just a couple of them, or if you want to do quickly all 4 or 5 of them. Just I want to hear what I want them to hear what work went into you taking these, because you went from an area that you're successful and you have a sphere, and to an area where you don't know anybody and you had to start from scratch. So I think it'd be valuable for them to hear how you took those first few listings.
So my first one came from an open house. I put my signs in the same spot every time I do an open house, so the same people drive by and see them. So this family kept seeing my signs. The second one is a land listing in Sedona, and that's a different story. That I had got a text message about the land, and I knew it was somebody trying to scam the land. So I went on Ben Verified. I Googled them. I found them on Facebook and LinkedIn and found the real owners. and they were so traumatized that somebody was trying to steal their land, that they actually had to decided they wanted to list it because they had originally planned on building on it and had changed their mind. So I got that listing by doing the right thing and caring for the public. And then,
so someone called you and wanted to fraudulently list a piece of land who was masquerading as the owner, which we hear happen. So you found who the actual owner is, contacted them and said, hey, someone's trying to steal your land. And, and they're like, oh my God, that's so unbelievable. And by the way, can you sell it for us?
Right. Yeah. And
wow.
Thankfully I had taken, like, when I jumped into the Sedona market, I jumped in and started taking CE classes and building my team. I mean, I just got right into it. And the title company was holding this CE class and was teaching the process if somebody is trying to scam land. So I immediately connected that actual landowner with the title company so they could put something on their title, so that if that person the fake person that originally had contacted me tried to do anything else with that land, that there's an alert on the title.
Nice.
So,
great job.
Yeah. And then my third listing came from being active on a Facebook group for our neighborhood. And my fourth listing came from an expired listing letter because it had expired a few months ago. So that's what I do is at my open houses is sit there.
Old expireds. I love it.
Yeah, do letters to out-of-state agents and letters to expired listings and so forth.
So when you're at the open house, when there's nobody there, you're actually working, doing other things. You're treating it like your office.
Yeah, I never get bored at an open house.
Awesome.
Ever.
I love it. That's great.
Right?
No,
Well,
you're multitasking, which is great.
Yeah, because I'm able to sit there and run both businesses, Arizona and Nevada, and it's starting to pick up. And Nevada is busy in Arizona, so it's just juggling the time and being present for my team as well.
Good. All right, and then is there one more, or is that all of them?
That was all of them.
That's all of them. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, and so, all of it was from being proactive. I didn't hear, I got it on Zillow, I spend money here, and you got it all from being proactive, which really doesn't cost anything other than your time, right?
Right. Oh, I guess I did forget one. The 2 buyers came from open houses. So 3 of what I have going on is from open houses, and the other 2 ones from doing the right thing, a Facebook group, and an old expired letter.
Okay, cool. I love it. So it's such a great testament to what you're doing. I mean, you're being proactive, and this is what you coach your people in Nevada to do too. And by the way, I have noticed the activity pick up in both markets as well too. So I think the spring market has sprung. It's the 31st of March today, so makes sense, right?
Yep.
And the weather doesn't hurt either. The weather's been incredible, actually.
Yes, it's been a little back and forth, hot then cold. So, but I think we're in for some good weather here in the next few weeks.
Good. And okay, so I have a couple more questions. The next one is, so you appear to be somebody who is extremely motivated, like you're working. You're always getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Is this some internal motivation you have? Do you have a routine to stay motivated? How do you stay motivated to do this every day?
Well, I do pray every morning, and I do affirmations. I do some writing techniques called 55 by 5. I'm coached by you, Rick, so I have to keep my commitments that I make to you. So,
Nice.
but I've just always been very driven. When I was 10 years old, I did my newspaper route on my pony, and I learned door knocking when I was 10 years old, because back then you had to go knock on people's doors and say, collecting for the Santa Maria Times. So I've been working like this since I was 10 years old. I've just always had that drive. My dad always told me to go pound the pavement, kid. So every time I'm out there door knocking or whatever, my dad's voice is in my head.
That's awesome. So you used to do, okay, this is something I'm learning today. You used to do your paper route on your horse?
Yes, on my pony. I'd stuff the newspaper bags. That's back when you'd have to roll the newspapers. Throw it over the back of my pony and strut down the street.
Wow. I wish we had some video of that. That's awesome. I love it. I jokingly tell my kids all the time.
Video back then.
Right. Okay, I wasn't going to say that, but I jokingly tell my kids I started my real estate career on horseback too. So, but I'm joking. You're not.
No, I'm not.
That's hilarious. That's such a great story. I wish we did have some video, but you're right. We didn't have YouTube back then and all that good stuff. Some of that though, I think I'm really glad that YouTube didn't become a thing till like 15 years ago, because since I had some videos when I was younger, I probably would not want anybody to see them.
Yeah, same.
All right. Is there anything I didn't ask you this morning that you think these wonderful people should hear today, Michele?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's definitely a business of, and you're the perfect example. It's like people think that this business is, it's like all crazy stuff that you do, but it's really very simple. The key is to learn how to handle the repetitious part, make it a little exciting, like, videos every day, that becomes repetitious, making phone calls, going door knocking. But it can be exciting if you just, look, it's the old, the process guarantees the outcome. If you get involved in the process and you stick with it, and like you said, have faith in it, it works out, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I have kind of a benefit for when I started the Arizona market, because I'm still closing deals in Nevada. So it's not like I was like, I only had 90 days of money in the bank and no job. I had a lot more going on. I'm still closing deals. I'm taking listings and so forth. So I was able to segue into the market and not be stressed about it. I mean, it's just not been stressful.
You're going back and forth too. You're going like you're spending a lot of your time, and people, like on this call, she moved, her and her husband moved to Sedona. They live there and they come back to Vegas, but they work both, you work both markets effectively because of, your schedule and your discipline in the way you do it. So I think it's inspirational, and that's why I wanted to make sure everybody heard about it on this call today. Well, Michele, I just want to say thank you very much for taking your time out today. I'm sure people got a lot of good nuggets out of this. We'll be promoting it everywhere. All right. You have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, Michele. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Michele.